If there is one thing Ninjago is known for, it is producing absolutely incredible sets, like this one, or this one, or this one. I mean, honestly, who doesn't like mechs, dragons, temples, and spider chair things? And since I recently looked at the worst LEGO Ninjago sets, today let's take a look at the opposite end of the spectrum, with the best LEGO Ninjago sets of every season. And make sure to stick around till the end of the video, because by the newest season in 2024, the sets get pretty crazy. Let's go! Starting off with the pilot season in 2011. These were much simpler times for Ninjago. The builds were less complex and the figures were less detailed, but they had this nice charm about them. Looking through them all now, I'm going to have to go with the Fire Temple as the best one. Now, I don't personally own this set, so for all I know it could be terrible, but I feel like I can pretty confidently call it great from all I've seen of it. Sure, the main build is pretty basic nowadays, but you'll see as the video goes on that the techniques get more and more complex. This set contains one of my favourite Ninjago things, a temple, as well as Flame, Kai's original dragon. The temple splits apart like seen in the show, and it looks pretty cool even 13 years later. Though there are some flaws, like that roof, which definitely wouldn't be up to code these days. Flame looks alright, though I honestly prefer the Legacy version. No, not that Legacy version, the other one. But they were made 10 years apart, so that's hardly a fair comparison. This one was very good for its time. And the minifigs are all really nice classic Ninjago characters. You've got Samakai, Wu, DX Kai, Zane, Nia, Cruncher, and of course, two-armed Garmadon. I was really tempted to put Garmadon's Fortress on here, as that is a truly unique Ninjago set of which we have never seen repeated since. But the Fire Temple is just slightly better to me. Next is Season 1, released in 2012. This season of Ninjago is an absolute classic and has remained unmatched by any other wave in my opinion, as here they just went all out. We got sets like a snake bike, a snake car, a snake mech, a snake wrecking ball, and a snake snake. I guarantee you we would not get those kind of sets these days, and in fact the way Ninjago sets are today is very different from these early waves. Also, I love the ZX suits, they are so clean, especially Lloyd's, so I have to hand it to the Epic Dragon Battle. This set is phenomenal. Yet another set I do not have, though I do have the Legacy one here, so I guess I can kind of use that for size reference at least. The Great Devourer is also included here, which is awesome. It's disappointing that we never got a Legacy Great Devourer, though we did get a similar large snake set, which we'll take a look at soon. I love these rubber heads used on the early Ninjago dragons. They look a lot better than brick built to me. The figures as well are superb, with Wu, Jay, the super cool ZX Lloyd, and Garmadon, the season's secondary antagonist behind Pythor, as well as Chokun, Acidicus, and Scalador. It's crazy to me that they actually made all the Serpentine Generals in minifigure form, especially as these days we are lucky to get even half the show characters as minifigs. Great set. Season 2 was a very strange Ninjago season, because the first half of it is basically like bonus episodes for Season 1, and the second half of it is story-based stuff. And this season released in late 2012, the same year as Season 1, but the sets didn't release until January 2013, and even then they were only based on the second half of the season, not the first half, which is disappointing. A Black Bounty set would have been amazing. Sorry if that was all a bit confusing. Anyway, I think the best for me has to be the Golden Dragon. Now, I thought about picking the Temple of Light or the Garmatron, though I've been informed by people who actually own the Garmatron that it's not that good, even though it looks pretty cool to me. And I also don't have the Temple of Light, but from images it looks just okay, honestly. I don't love the look of the mech included, the Legacy one is better, but yet again that's an unfair comparison. The Golden Dragon, however, I do actually have, and I gotta be honest, it is nothing short of iconic. This was, until 2015, the cheapest way to get Golden Lloyd, who might just be my favourite Ninjago minifigure. He's definitely at least top 5. You also get a cool Stone Warrior and a meh Stone Scout. Though it's the build that really shines here. It looks amazing, and this is such a nostalgic set to me. Too bad it took another 8 years to get an Overlord Dragon to go with it. In 2014, we were gifted with Ninjago Season 3, after the show came back from being cancelled. It was appropriately titled Rebooted. The sets this season are all very good, except for the Overborg attack, and they are just as nostalgic to me as the Season 1 and 2 sets. Back in the day when I was a young lad, before I knew about the internet, the only way I would find out about new LEGO sets was by either looking at the LEGO catalogue or seeing them in store. And I still remember that magic moment from 2014, where I rounded the corner of the LEGO aisle in Big W to find Zane's face staring back at me on the top right of the Ninjacopter box, and the shocking excitement I felt upon seeing Half-Mask and the ninja's hair as physical pieces. This season might be the one I have the most fond memories of, and my favourite set is not from the first wave in January, but from the second wave in June. It's the Battle for Ninjago City, a set which I received for my birthday almost 10 whole years ago. This is a very nice looking set, with a good temple build and some fun play features, as well as a glider for Zane, a Tori build, a tree and the Overlord spider chair. There are some great figures here like the Golden Master Overlord, who only appears in this set, in this specific form at least. There is also an exclusive Samurai X who only appears here, and despite having a generic city face, this one looks a lot more like Nia than her later ones. There is also a Stone Armor Lloyd and Zane, whose torsos were once upon a time exclusive, before Lloyd was in a book and Zane got a bad case of foil pack disease. Then there's a poor man's Stone Armor J, and some Nindroids. It still holds up against today's very advanced temples, even though the set's coming up to its 10-year anniversary. Ninjago Season 4 was released in January 2015 and is widely regarded as the best Ninjago season and the highlight of the golden era of Ninjago. This season was called Tournament of Elements and put the ninja on an island with various other elemental masters, some of the most beloved Ninjago side characters. There were 11 sets accompanying this season, ranging from good to great. I wanted to pick the Ninja DBX because it has my favourite character Pythor, as well as Sensei Garmadon. And I wanted to go with the Titanium Dragon as well, because it is a really great dragon. Though since I am a sucker for structure builds, I have to go with Enter the Serpent. The build here is very nice looking, with this oversized snake head on top of it and this little bridge to the left, as well as some cool traps. Though the main draw has to be the minifigures. You get Chen here with his cape and staff, as well as Zugu and Kapow Rai. But the ninja are the show stealers to me here, with a Jay who later appeared in Dimensions, and a Lloyd who remains exclusive to this set only. A great set and one that I hope to add to my collection one day. Season 5 is one of my favourite Ninjago seasons, and yet again we got a slew of accompanying merchandise, because that is the show's main purpose, to sell toys, whether you like it or not. This one is the easiest choice of my life. It is the Temple of Air Jitsu. Now Bricklink does not consider this one a Season 5 set, it just lists it as Other. And whilst it did release 3 months after the fact, the proof is in the pudding to me, due to them having the possession suits on, as well as the temple being introduced in Season 5 and then featuring in subsequent seasons. Long story short, I consider this a possession set. The build here is incredible, and I credit the introduction of larger, more mature, if you will, Ninjago builds to this specific set. This was LEGO testing the water with more sizable Ninjago products, which would eventually culminate in Ninjago City and then expand from there on out. You get 2 smaller structures on either side of the main temple, in sand blue and sand green, some of my favourite LEGO shades, and they are designed to accentuate the grand look of the centre structure. The figures here are also great, unless you include the Ultrasonic Raider, which only included the OG quartet. This is the first set to contain all 6 main ninja. There's also an exclusive Wu as well as Misako in the first of 2 appearances, and the legendary Postman, appearing exclusively in this set. And then there's a Dareth who is slightly weaker than his former appearance, and then Jesper and Claire, who I think were made up solely for this set. This is a groundbreaking Ninjago set, and this should be on the top of every Ninjago fan's most wanted list. I am going to add this set to my personal collection very soon, and in fact I may already have it by the time this video releases. Despite being 9 years old, this may be the best temple from Ninjago, and one of the best Ninjago sets in general. There's some newer and bigger sets that use more advanced techniques and fancier pieces, which we'll look at soon, but this one just has so much charm about it. Skybound was Ninjago's 6th season, and it released in January of 2016 with 6 sets, and then there were a further 3 later on that year. In my opinion, the best set has to be the Lighthouse Siege, part of the season's 2nd wave. This is an iconic location, being introduced in Season 2, but we didn't get a set of it until 2016. And boy oh boy is it a good one. It is filled with all sorts of details and traps, my personal favourite being the trapdoor in the front here. This is also one of the first sets I saw use this small axle in black, not red for once, though according to Bricklink it has been seen in black over 800 times, so apparently I just live under a rock. The figures here are great, with Destiny J and Nia, the amazing and exclusive Echo Zane, and the Natakan himself, as well as a helmetless Flintlock, Clancy and Squiffy. Absolutely stellar set. The next season was season 7, but before that there was a little Halloween special called Day of the Departed, which also got a full wave of sets. And the best out of them to me has to be the Samurai X Cave Chaos. I've seen some disdain about this set online, and I don't actually have it, so who knows, it may be terrible, but from looking at photos and reviews I can say it looks incredible, and it's probably my most wanted set currently next to the Temple of Air Jutsu and the Epic Dragon Battle. The build is really unique. It's surprising we never got a Samurai X Cave before or since. The figures here are probably the highlight for me, as you get a new General Kozu, a new Cryptor, and my favourite character Pythor in his arguably coolest outfit. There's also an exclusive Lloyd and Nia, as well as a very cool Jay, a Wu, and a Stone Warrior. This is one I am really excited to add to my collection one day, hopefully sooner rather than later. Hi guys, Editing Python here. I've just made the executive decision to split this video into 3 parts, because I'm already going as quick as I can, and looking at the length so far, we're going to be here all day at this rate. So stay tuned for part 2 next week or the week after. In the meantime, check out one of my videos here. That's been all for today folks, have a great day and see you next week.